The play is set in Verona, Italy, where two noble families, the Montagues and the Capulets, are embroiled in a bitter feud. The animosity between the families has a profound impact on the entire city, causing unrest and violence. The opening scene depicts a street brawl between the servants of the feuding families, emphasizing the deep-rooted hatred. Prince Escalus of Verona intervenes, declaring that further breaches of the peace will result in severe punishment, showcasing the severity of the conflict. Romeo Montague is introduced as a young man pining for Rosaline, who does not return his affections. His melancholic and poetic musings on love demonstrate his sensitive and passionate nature. His cousin Benvolio encourages him to move on and look at other women. Benvolio's practical advice contrasts with Romeo's romantic idealism, highlighting their differing perspectives on love and relationships. To help Romeo get over Rosaline, Benvolio and their friend Mercutio persuade him to crash a masked ball at the Capulet house. Mercutio's lively and playful character adds a sense of excitement to the plan. Romeo reluctantly agrees, hoping to see Rosaline. This decision sets the stage for the fateful meeting between Romeo and Juliet. At the party, Romeo sees Juliet Capulet and instantly falls in love with her, forgetting Rosaline. Their connection is immediate and intense, transcending the animosity between their families. Juliet reciprocates Romeo's feelings, and they share a sonnet and a kiss, only to discover that they belong to rival families. The realization of their identities adds a layer of complexity and tension to their newfound love. Later that night, Romeo sneaks into the Capulet orchard and overhears Juliet professing her love for him from her balcony. This iconic scene highlights the depth of their emotions and their willingness to defy their family's feud. They exchange vows of love and plan to marry in secret. Their decision to marry quickly underscores the urgency and intensity of their feelings. With the help of Friar Laurence, who hopes their union will end the feud, Romeo and Juliet are secretly married the next day. Friar Lawrence's role as a confidant and advisor emphasizes his desire for peace and his support for the young lovers. Juliet's nurse acts as a go-between for the young lovers. The nurse's loyalty and involvement highlight the importance of their secret allies. Tybalt, Juliet's hot-headed cousin, challenges Romeo to a duel for crashing the Capulet party. Tybalt's fiery temper and sense of honor contrast sharply with Romeo's newfound desire for peace. Romeo, now Tybalt's kinsman by marriage, refuses to fight, but Mercutio accepts the challenge. Mercutio's protective nature and quick temper lead to tragic consequences. During the duel, Romeo tries to intervene, but Tybalt fatally wounds Mercutio under Romeo's arm. Mercutio's death is a turning point in the play, escalating the conflict and driving Romeo to seek revenge. With his dying breaths, Mercutio curses both houses and blames them for his death. His curse, "A plague at both your houses," highlights the destructive nature of the feud. Enraged by Mercutio's death, Romeo fights Tybalt and kills him. Romeo's impulsive reaction marks a significant shift in his character, from lover to avenger. Realizing the gravity of his actions, Romeo flees. The Prince of Verona banishes Romeo from the city to Mantua, declaring that he will be executed if he returns. Romeo's banishment further complicates his and Juliet's situation, intensifying their desperation. Juliet is heartbroken by Tybalt's death and Romeo's banishment. Her conflicting emotions reveal the depth of her love for Romeo and her loyalty to her family. She turns to Friar Laurence for help, who devises a plan to reunite her with Romeo. Friar Lawrence's plan underscores the lengths to which he will go to help the young lovers. He gives her a potion that will make her appear dead for 42 hours. The plan's risks highlight the precariousness of their situation. Juliet agrees to the plan and takes the potion the night before her wedding to Paris, a suitor her parents have arranged for her. Her decision reflects her determination and bravery in the face of overwhelming pressure. She is found seemingly dead the next morning, and the Capulets place her in the family tomb. The family's grief and preparations for her funeral add to the dramatic tension. Romeo, in Mantua, hears of Juliet's death from his servant Balthazar, who is unaware of Friar Laurence's plan. Romeo's immediate reaction is one of profound despair and hopelessness. Devastated, Romeo buys poison and returns to Verona to die beside Juliet. His return to Verona underscores his unwavering love and commitment to Juliet. Friar Laurence's letter explaining the plan to Romeo never reaches him due to a plague outbreak that quarantines the messenger. This tragic twist emphasizes the role of fate and miscommunication in the unfolding tragedy. Unaware of the truth, Romeo arrives at the tomb. His misunderstanding sets the stage for the final, tragic events. At the tomb, Romeo encounters Paris, who has come to mourn Juliet. Paris's presence adds another layer of tragedy, as he too is a victim of the circumstances. They fight, and Romeo kills Paris. The fight reflects Romeo's desperation and the chaos surrounding the lover's plight. Believing Juliet to be dead, Romeo takes the poison and dies beside her. His final words and actions underscore the intensity of his love and the depth of his despair. Juliet awakens to find Romeo dead. Her shock and grief are palpable, as she realizes the full extent of their tragic miscommunication. Distraught, she tries to kiss the remaining poison from his lips but fails. Hearing people approaching, she takes Romeo's dagger and stabs herself, dying beside him. Juliet's final act of joining Romeo in death is a powerful testament to their love and the play's tragic conclusion. The deaths of Romeo and Juliet bring the Montagues and Capulets together. Their shared grief over the loss of their children leads to a poignant moment of reconciliation. Moved by the tragedy, the families reconcile and vow to end their feud, erecting golden statues in memory of their children. The reconciliation underscores the senselessness of the feud and the high cost of their enmity, leaving the audience to reflect on the themes of love, fate, and the consequences of hatred. If you enjoyed learning about this classic, consider subscribing to see future videos on timeless literature. Happy learning!